I hope that gradually now you have started learning about metabolism. Our topic is from paper number 502, Prokaryotic Metabolism, from Unit 3, Bioenergetics, and subunit is 3.1, Different Modes of ATP Generation. As we know that bioenergetics is a big component part of biochemistry. It is about making and breaking of chemical bonds of biomolecules and its consequences. It is concerned with relationships of molecules for energy and its transformation. In any biological system, three aspects are very important to study: its growth, development, and metabolism. For all these three processes, energy is very important to become available to the organism, its cellular parts, and to the site or to the molecule where it is required very much. The biological system obtains energy from a wide range of metabolic pathways after utilization of various substrates in the form of food. So it is clear that any life is dependent on energy for its sustenance and survival. It exchanges energy with its environment, where it transforms energy from one form to another. In a living cell, continuously chemical bonds are made and broken as a part of exchange and transformation of energy. When weak bonds are broken and strong bonds are made, energy becomes available for synthesis of macromolecules or any other type of endergonic reaction like mechanical work in a living cell. The usable energy is released when stronger bonds are made in molecules of the organism. Now let us see about the bacteria and their energy source. There are different type of bacteria getting carbon source from different substrates. Living organisms are categorized into various categories on the basis of their carbon requirement. Autotrophic organisms can use carbon dioxide and sunlight. We can exemplify by Rhodopseudomonas. Lithotrophic bacteria use inorganic compounds as their energy source. Sulfur bacteria and hydrogen bacteria are very good example of lithotrophic bacteria. Heterotrophic organisms, they utilize organic compounds, for example, Escherichia coli, Pseudomonas aeruginosa, and so on. Now, ATP, adenosine triphosphate. This is an organic molecule which is considered as currency of energy in a living cell. It has three components: ribose sugar, adenine, and three phosphate groups. There are three bonds in the ATP molecule. During hydrolysis of ATP, the terminal phosphate bond is broken, which contains tremendous energy. ATP undergo hydrolysis and produces ADP and inorganic phosphate along with energy. Low energy ester bond is observed between ribose sugar and first phosphate group. Other two phosphates are attached one by one with the formation of high energy anhydride bonds, which contain more energy than the ester bond. There are several high energy compounds which upon breakdown release high amount of energy in terms of kilojoule per mole. ATP produced can be used up by cell for several functions like mechanical work, transport of molecules, and several chemical reactions of metabolism. This is the cycle called ATP cycle. It is very clear that from exergonic reaction ATP is coming and in endergonic reaction it is being utilized. ATP cycle requires a particular type of protein called ATP synthase. ATP synthase is taking active part in the formation of ATP. ATP can be produced by various means and one of it is substrate level phosphorylation. Substrate level phosphorylation takes place where ATP is produced by a direct transfer of high energy phosphate group from a phosphorylated intermediate metabolic compound in the reaction releasing energy in the environment. The reaction takes place with a specific type of enzymes and they are called kinases. In the figure, we can see very nicely that with the help of enzyme phosphoglycerate kinase, 1,3-biphosphoglycerate is converted into 3-phosphoglycerate and there is conversion of ADP into ATP. This is another example of metabolic intermediate molecule providing energy to ADP. Here, phosphoenol pyruvate binds with ADP and it is converted into pyruvate and it will hand over phosphate molecule to ADP and making ATP out of it. Now, where ATP synthesis takes place, either in the membranes or in the cytosol. Electrochemical gradient of proton is the main cause of production of ATP by ATP synthase. And this type of ATP synthesis is called oxidative phosphorylation or electron transport phosphorylation. So, if we go exactly for the definition of oxidative phosphorylation, it is the phosphorylation of ADP takes place during electron transport chain or during respiration, either in mitochondria or in the cytoplasmic membrane. This figure shows about the phosphorylation during respiration. It is very clear that there is production of hydrogen gradient out of the membrane and then hydrogen ions come back. They are entering through the ATPase and as soon as there is entry of hydrogen ion, the rotor of the enzyme will turn, it will move and as a result there will be binding of ADP with the phosphate ion and there will be production of ATP. The ATPases are of different types. In organisms, there is a beautiful arrangement to store and use of energy in the form of ATP. There are several enzymes for this. They are called ATPases, that is adenosine triphosphatases. They decompose ATP into ADP and a free phosphate ion. This reaction is called dephosphorylation, that is catabolism of ATP. It is found in most of the living cells. These enzymes make a class of integral membrane proteins which are anchored within biological membranes of living organisms. These enzymes allow solutes to move across the membrane against concentration gradient. They are called transmembrane ATPases. Transmembrane ATPases allow many solutes to enter inside the membrane which are useful for metabolism. They also export several toxins, waste materials and harmful substances. A very good example of this category is sodium potassium exchanger. The figure is about ATP synthase. We can see the ATP synthase is nicely embedded inside the cytoplasmic membrane, and as soon as there is entry of hydrogen ion, there is formation of ATP from ADP and PI with the help of this enzyme. So, a sodium potassium exchanger enzyme maintains cell membrane potential, and another example of this type of enzyme is hydrogen potassium ATPase, which is gastric proton pump which acidifies the content of the digestive system. It is also called electrogenic pumps. Now we can discuss about different type of ATPases. So first of all we'll talk about F type of ATPase. It is called also by the name F0F1 ATPase. It is found in the bacteria. It is also found in mitochondrial membrane. It generates ATP by using hydrogen ion, that is protons. It has two components, F1 that is peripheral and F0 is the integral type of protein. It is involved with pumping hydrogen out of the cell or in coupling of hydrogen ion movement with the generation of ATP. It makes ATP from ADP and PI. It is also called by the name ATP synthase. It has two components. F0 is working as a rotor and F1 is made up of 5 subunits alpha, beta, gamma, delta and epsilon. F1 is made up of 5 subunits and F0 is considered as 4, which consists of 3 subunits A, B and C. F1 is built as a hexamer of alternating alpha and beta subunits that surround an asymmetric core consisting of gamma subunit. The interfaces between alpha and beta subunits form 3 nucleotide binding sites. Catalytic sites also there where ADP gets converted into ATP or ATP gets converted into ADP. Now P-type ATPases, they are also called by the name E1, E2. They are also called alpha helical bundle primary transporters. So many different enzymes are involved, fall in this category: sodium potassium pump, hydrogen potassium pump and calcium magnesium pump. They carry out phosphorylation as well as dephosphorylation of the components. It is found in archaea bacteria. It is also related with ion and lipid pumps. They are also called P-type because they catalyze auto, that is self-phosphorylation of their aspartate residue within the pump. They interconvert between two different conformations E1 and E2. The example is sodium potassium ATPase, plasma membrane proton pumps, that is hydrogen ion ATPase, proton potassium pump, hydrogen ion potassium ion ATPase, and calcium pump. P-type ATPase is subdivided into 5 subfamilies. Type 1 for heavy metal, type 2 it has 4 groups, type 3 it is made up of 3A and 3B component, type 4 it carry phospholipids, and type 5 found in eukaryotes transport of endoplasmic reticulum is governed by this enzyme. Now the third category, V-type ATPases. It is also called by the name V0, V1. They are vacuolar type hydrogen ATPases, hydrogen ion ATPases found in eukaryotes. They acidify intracellular organelles and pump protons across the plasma membrane. They are found in vacuoles and they only hydrolyze ATPs. It cannot synthesize ATPs. It gives energy to carry out endocytosis, bond reabsorption, and acid hydrolase activation. It has two domains V1 and V0 which are made up of 13 subunits A3, B3, C, D, E, F, G2, H1, A, B, A, D, C, 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 C dash and C double dash. Now about proton motive force, that is called PMF. It is also called electric potential, electrochemical gradient, chemical gradient, and so on. It is called by the symbol delta psi. It is also called electric field potential, potential drop, or electrostatic potential. It is the amount of work required to move a unit of charge from a reference point to a specific point inside the field without producing an acceleration. Electric potential across a cell membrane can be measured using lipophilic cations that will freely pass through the membrane. When interior of membrane is negatively charged, lipophilic cations like TPP plus tetraphenyl phosphonium ion accumulate inside the cell. Delta pH can also be measured using radio-labeled weak acids like benzoic acid, where weak acid gets dissociated based on its dissociation constant pKa. Protonated form of this weak acid passes freely across the membrane, but deprotonated form cannot pass through the membrane. The internal pH can be calculated on the basis of one particular formula given in the display. This dissociation concomitantly lowers internal amount of weak acid which equilibrate with external weak acid and bringing more amount of weak acid into the cell. Generating ATP in alkalophiles. These bacteria have usually more protons in the cell than outside. So they rely on sodium motive force to generate ATP. Here F1 F0 ATPase produce ATP along with the movement of sodium ions. Energetics of chemolithotrophs. Chemolithotrophic bacteria utilize inorganic compounds and oxidize them to get energy. Most of them contain inorganic electron donors used in electron transport chain in more amount in the cell in the form of inorganic compounds, like they transform hydrogen into water, ammonia into nitrite and nitrate, and nitrite into nitrate, sulfur into sulfate, and ferrous into ferric. So they can produce more PMF, much more than the organotrophic bacteria. Here, inorganic compounds serve as a source of energy in the form of electrons that can be used to pump out hydrogen ion or some other cations out of the cell. So I hope that it will be very uh, useful for you to understand the fundamentals of ATP generation. Next time we'll discuss much more about metabolism in detail. Till then, stay happy and God bless you.